Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to a new video. So I've got an interesting update for you. So the plan's in full swing. We're on week 1, and as you saw on the previous video, we're all set. We've got our goals, our targets, our training plan is all set, and annoyingly I injured my neck somehow sleeping last night, which is freaking annoying. Like literally day 2 of the plan. Oh man, how frustrating. This is an old injury I used to have. It's my trapezius. They just get overly tight. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but all I can remember in the night was I turned in bed and I just suddenly felt my neck just pop. So super frustrating. It's happened before, and to be honest, the recovery nowadays is a bit quicker. So I'm just gonna have to just kind of move to plan B with the plan. So, you know, it doesn't need to affect what I'm aiming to achieve. It just means I can't obviously lift weights for the next probably 3 or 4 days. So we'll just have to do some cardio instead. And this is something that I've actually learned the hard way. Was in the past where I had a little injury, I would just continue training and I'd think, oh, it'll be fine, and it will make it a lot worse. I had a big tear in my chest once and I thought it was better, and it wasn't, and it just made that tear a lot worse. So I've learned from my mistakes. The recovery shouldn't be too bad. It should be only about, as I said, 3 or 4 days without lifting weights if everything goes well. So we've just got to the gym. It's Saturday morning, and I was planned to do, I think, a push session today, which obviously involves shoulders and, you know, upper trapezius. So I'm definitely not going to do that. So instead, what we're going to do is I'll actually run you through a protocol, a fat loss protocol, which is cardio based, which basically I did throughout all of my preps. And it's a protocol by Dr. Lionel McDonald's. This guy literally specializes in fat loss, you know, and very, very kind of scientific based stuff. And it's a really good protocol. It's essentially HIIT training, a 5-minute rest, and then LISS, low intensity cardio after. So I'll run you through that if the gym's not too busy. I don't think it will be. And yeah, so a little bit annoying because I was looking forward to doing a push session today. But look, these things happen, right? They're always going to get the odd curveball thrown your way, but it doesn't mean that things have to stop. It doesn't mean that you need to press pause on your goals. It just means you need to just work around it. Okay, so it's not like a major injury where I can't move. It's just my neck's very, very tight and it's kind of a bit swollen on the trap. So I should still be able to do some cardio. I'm going to hit the curve machine because the curve machine, I think, is that, or the assault bike, is very good at just raising heart rate super quickly. So yeah, not a great start to the plan, but hey, these things happen and you just got to keep pushing forwards. So let's head over to the gym, and I will try and get a spot to, you know, a spot to put the camera in, and then we'll I'll run you through how the protocol looks. It should take about 40 minutes, and yeah, guys, it's really good. Dr. Lionel McDonald, and it's called the Stubborn Fat Protocol. So let's head in, and I'll run you through it. Right, so as mentioned, today I'll be doing my HIIT training on the curve machine. So what I always like to do is to warm up for 5 minutes. So just getting the body kind of prepped for the HIIT training. I hate running with joggers, so shorts it is, despite it being freaking freezing in there. And after you've warmed up, what I like to do as well is to do a little bit of hamstring and hip mobility. So find a stable surface next to your machine, and what I like to do here is to do straight leg kicks. Again, great for the hamstrings. So just let your legs swing, try not to let it touch the floor, and do 10 reps on each side. Again, great to stretch out the hamstrings. And then other side, again, 10 reps, and just let it flow. Don't kind of overthink it. Just make sure your leg is as straight as it can be. And then if you tilt to your side, this is more for your hips. Same principle, just make sure your leg is swinging back and forth. Keep it as straight as possible. As you can see, my hamstrings are quite tight, so can't keep them very straight, but it's a work in progress. And then same thing on the other side, roughly 10 reps. And this should really help to prep your body for some sprints. I would then always like to also stretch my quads. Again, keep your knees together, pull the foot upwards and you should feel the stretch in your quads. And then again, do both sides, making sure you're grabbing onto a stable surface. And again, hold it for around 10 seconds or so. What you can also do is stretch your calves, and you can do this by going on the machine and putting one leg to the side which doesn't move, and then just leaning forwards, feeling the stretch on your calf on both sides. Again, roughly 10 seconds on each side, and you should be pretty ready to go. Right, so let me run you through how the protocol actually looks. So it's really simple. Now, stage one is essentially doing some sprints for around 20 seconds. And the rule of thumb is you always want to rest for as long as you've gone intense for. So for example, if you sprinted for 20 seconds, you want to rest for 40. If you sprint for 30 seconds, you want to rest for a minute. And you want to do 5 of these in total. So it's pretty straightforward, 20-second sprint, 40-second rest. Now, when it comes to your technique on the curve, it's very important that you look straight and that when you're sprinting, you raise your knees. As you can see, the curve is called a curve for a reason. So when you plant your foot, you will be planting your foot in a slightly kind of uphill motion. So it's very important that you drive your knees upwards and then driving down and pulling back, because that's an actual weighted belt. So just make sure the main focus on here is to make sure that you're looking straight, knees nice and high, and then just, intensity needs to be roughly a 9 out of 10 for this to work. And once again, you are doing 5 of these. So 5 sets in total, 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off. Just one more important point. As you can see, there's a lever which I'm moving backwards and forwards, which is close to my right hand. Now, when you're actually doing the sprint, you want that to be on 0 or on 1. Okay, so that will make sure that the belt hasn't got too much resistance on it. Otherwise, it will be virtually impossible to do sprints on. Right, so I'm feeling absolutely gassed out now. So that was 5 sets, 20 on, 40 off. And now we move on to stage 2. Now, stage 2 is really important. Make sure that you do this. A lot of people forget and just go on to the low intensity, but it's very important that you rest, you sit down and you rest for a full 5 minutes. So get a timer or a stopwatch on your phone and make sure that you are resting for 5 minutes. It's a really important part of this protocol which cannot be skipped. Right, so now we move on to stage 3 of the protocol. Now this bit's fairly easy. So after you've rested for 5 minutes, what you want to do is change the machine that you've used. Ideally something that's not too high impact. And what you want to do now is to basically do low intensity cardio known as LISS. And it's important that you don't let your heart rate go over 135 beats per minute. So for me on the stepper, that means roughly a level 6, and you want to do this for about 20 to 30 minutes. So again, the most important thing here is not to overdo it and let your heart rate race too much. The sweet spot is 135. And again, depends how long you have and your availability with time, a minimum of 20 minutes. And once you're done, that is the end of the protocol. You can eat as usual and you are pretty much done and dusted.
Right, so we're back in a car and man, that was hard. I've not done HIIT training in a very long time. And you know what? Sometimes off the back of something bad that's happened, like my neck, you realize you get a good situation come out of a bad situation. So now I know that I actually need to do a lot more cardio, a lot more HIIT training. It doesn't matter how good you look, how lean you get. If your ticker isn't working or if your heart isn't healthy, then it kind of doesn't matter how good you look, right? So super important you keep your cardiovascular fitness up, and I definitely need to keep mine up. So yeah, that was, and I can kind of tell as well based on my heart rate, like it was going quite high in relation to how fast I was running on the curve. Like normally I could run a bit faster and my heart rate wouldn't go as high, and my recovery, that's how you really know, is how fast you can recover. And let me say that was tough. you know, really tough. So back to the drawing board. We're gonna head over to my computer later, well, either today or tomorrow, and then we're just gonna reshuffle the plan a little bit and incorporate more HIIT training at least once a week throughout these next 10 weeks. And yeah, I think now I've got my protein shake, so 2 scoops with some water, gives me about 40-45 grams of protein. So we're just gonna go back home, chill out, spend some time with the family, see Leo, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. So good morning guys, and welcome to a new day. It's Monday morning and I'm about to cook breakfast. So I just thought I'd share with you, I normally have 2 to 3 breakfasts depending on what I'm training, how I'm feeling. So today I'm going to go more for a higher fat, higher protein breakfast option. I normally like to have this on a Monday because I'll be honest, normally Monday evening is my cheat meal, so I do have quite a lot of carbs. So I don't really wake up Monday morning feeling like I need a big bowl of porridge, unless I'm training legs, but even then, because I'm still quite kind of feeling a little bit heavy from the night before. So I like to go for high fat, high protein, and I'll share with you what I'm gonna have this morning. So now this is a really good, I'll be honest, I love bacon. And I found that you can get this kind of 50% less fat rashers of bacon. So essentially, I'm not sure if you can see that. So essentially it hasn't got any fat, it's just like medallions, and I don't have it obviously every day. I have it maybe once a week, but they are low in fat and packed with protein. So we're gonna have 4 of these medallions, which I think comes in at around, I'll put the macros after at the end, but I think 2 of these has protein, 12 grams of protein, 2. So yeah, that's 24 grams in 4, which is pretty good. So I'll have that, I'll have some eggs, and then I'll have something, a little bit of carbs. I'll show you what I have as well, which is really good. Now, the other good thing about this meal is that you can actually just do it in one pan. So it's super quick. Just make sure you get a pan that's big enough. Right, so we're gonna go for 4 of these medallions. So as you can see, they kind of look like that. Super lean and full of protein. Okay, done. So while that's cooking, I'm also gonna have 3 eggs. So I like to go for, I eat so many eggs that I always like to go for organic. And I'll have 3 of these. What I'll do, I'll wait until that's finished. So now the thing about eggs is, if you're a guy and you're looking to boost your natural levels of testosterone, egg yolk is a really good source of healthy cholesterol that's been shown to really help raise natural test levels. So don't try to have more than, personally, I wouldn't recommend more than 3 a day because of having too much cholesterol. So I like to have 3. So each egg is around 7 grams of protein. So as you can see, the protein's already adding up, which is good. So this is super quick. And the good thing about this breakfast as well is that it is super, super quick to put together. So this literally takes like maybe 2 minutes on each side, maybe a little bit longer. So while that's cooking, now let me show you what I have as my carb source for today. Now, I'm not sure if these are available in every country. However, here in the UK, so they're protein fins. Yeah, you can find these in most supermarkets. Now, the reason I love these is because it's a protein fin, so it doesn't have as many carbs as a normal protein. As you can see, it's quite thin there, right? I love bagels, by the way, delicious. But they've, I think, fortified this with some protein anyway. So per bagel, you're only looking at 150 calories, 24 grams of carbs, but it's got 8 grams of protein. So compared to a kind of full fat bagel, then this is a lot better. And I just keep these in the freezer. All I do, I split them in half. It goes in a toaster for like 3 minutes, and that's a good kind of source of carbohydrates, and it goes well with this meal. So now I'm just flipping these. Again, this breakfast is super, super quick. I think it comes in at around just north of 500 calories maybe. So let's get this in the toaster, or at least get it ready. I love this kitchen because it's south facing, so you get really nice sunlight coming through in the morning. All right, so that goes in the toaster. I won't put it on just yet because they are super quick to do. But yeah, check it out. This is the ones I get. So protein thins, really good. Again, I have maybe one, maybe two max a week. So let's get these eggs ready. So we're looking at a protein. I reckon this breakfast will have around 40 grams of protein. Maybe even a bit more. So as I said, I like to vary my breakfasts. So normally, sometimes I have, midweek, if I'm doing a big leg session, I'll have some porridge with some eggs, obviously not together, separate, but that's really nice. And I really feel the difference when I load up with, you know, porridge, a big bowl of porridge 2 hours before a leg session. Makes a huge difference. But today, as I said, we're just having this. Right, that's pretty much done. So now just whack these on a plate. Okay, so that kind of looks like that. Cool. Now, what I do is I like to put just a dash of, again, high quality organic butter when I cook my eggs, and I will add this to obviously my Fitness Pal. It's not a lot, it's probably half a teaspoon, or a teaspoon maybe. And again, good quality butter, good source of saturated fat, is in small dosages, very good for men. Right, so let's get these eggs going. Turn this down. So one, I like to break the yolk personally. I know that's a bit weird, but two. And three. And I like to get a dash of salt, a dash of pepper, black pepper. Let's get this toaster on. I mean, you'll see by the timestamps on this video, but I think it will take less than 5 minutes, literally. Having a non-stick pan is a lifesaver, so make sure you get a good quality non-stick pan. Believe it or not, this one's actually from IKEA. It's one of their top of the range ones, and it's really good. Right, these are ready to rock and roll. Turn the heat off. And three. Not the most prettiest breakfast, but it does the job. It's what we want. Quick, efficient, high in protein, high in healthy fats. I'm having a bit of bacon, which feels a little bit like a treat. All right, that will do. It's good to go. So, protein bagels. And guys, there you have it, super quick. I don't need to put butter on these because I'll just use the yolk from the eggs, but I absolutely love this breakfast. It is high in protein, high in good healthy cholesterol for testosterone production, and I've got the bacon medallions, which kind of feels like a treat meal. And yeah, it's just super delicious, really. So yeah, guys, check it out. I'll put on the macros in the screen somewhere, but I think it's about 500 calories, 550. So yeah, there you have it. So I'm gonna eat this, and then I've got a call with a few clients, and I will catch you back on my computer, and we'll go through how I've structured the training program. See you in a bit. Right guys, so welcome back to my computer, and let me show you what the training split is going to look like over the next 10 weeks. So I like to keep it pretty simple, and this split works really well. You get more training frequency, which is kind of been shown to be better for hypertrophy, to retain muscle especially, and to build muscle. So what we're going to do here is essentially a push legs pull split. Now I've included cardio here because, as I've mentioned, I'm going to incorporate HIIT training once a week. So you could say it's a 4-day split and then a rest. Now the reason I'm not resting here and I'm resting here is because I've made plans already to train with someone, so I'm just going to change my rest day. But essentially it's really simple. I do push, legs, pull, HIIT training, rest, and then repeat the process. Push, legs, pull, HIIT training, rest. Push, legs, pull, HIIT training, rest on Monday here, for example. So so it's not the sort of split where it's like, right, Monday we do this, Tuesday we do this. It kind of changes around slightly. So let me also explain to you why you can see here chest and posterior and shoulder focus. So when it comes to training, for example, push, obviously you're going to hit your chest, your shoulders and your tricep. Those are the muscles associated with pushing. Now, generally speaking, you'll always have a bit more energy at the start of the session. So if you start with chest every time when you do push, then it means that your shoulders are going to be a little bit neglected, right? Because you're kind of hitting shoulders after you've done your chest workout or your chest exercises, they'll be a little bit weak and you won't have as much energy to focus on shoulders. So what I like to do is rotate between a chest focus and a shoulder focus. That sorts that out. So essentially here we'll do a push session starting with chest, and here we'll do another push session, but we start with shoulders and then do chest and then triceps. Now the same applies with legs. With legs, again, I like to split it down the middle. So as you can see here, we've got legs posterior. Now posterior chain indicates the back. So that indicates the glutes and the hamstrings. And then on the second leg session, as you can see here, it's an anterior focus, which means front of the leg, which means we're working mainly on the quads. Now, why have I put chest focus and then posterior legs here? Now, again, this has to do with kind of just balancing things out. So if you are training push and you're doing the front of your muscles, so, you know, generally, so chest, shoulders and triceps, on the next session, ideally, you want to do posterior chain. So you're always alternating between anterior chain, posterior chain. So we do legs posterior. So it'll be a lot more. So here we go, glutes and hamstrings. And then we've got pull here. And then we've got hit training. Normally it'd be a rest. And then again, it would be, this rest would be normally on Saturday, but we're doing it because we're meeting someone. And then you just rest and just repeat the process, but then the focus changes. So now here we've got legs anterior, and then we've got pull, and then hit, rest, and then back to chest focused here. So I hope that's not overly complicated. I'm not going to go into exactly what I'll be doing in each session, because I mean, that could be hours of explaining why and how and stuff. However, if you guys want to see that in a bit more detail, then let me know and I will make a separate video on that. But I think for now, this is how I'm going to structure it. And if you guys want more info on the actual details of the session, then let me know in the comments. But right, just again to explain, it's super simple. It's going to be a split of push, legs, pull, hit, rest, and then repeat the process. Okay, so hope that makes sense. Any questions, just let me know. And once again, guys, don't forget to like the video, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.